I'm really having a moment of gratitude right now. I just finished my workout, and this time 5 years ago, 5:32, I was closing the till I was working at in Bond Street, central London. I'm not going to say where I was working. It was a retail store. I would fold clothes. I was a sales assistant. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I hated my 9 to 5, that I'm so depressed where I was. I actually quite liked it. It was a small group, and I made very good memories with the people I was with. I was there for like 4 years, and I was very comfortable. That was my biggest problem. I was very comfortable where I was, but I would always have these moments of reality where I think to myself, do I want to see myself here in 30, 40 years folding clothes, and realizing that I don't want this to be the only impact that I make. I don't want to be remembered as a person who folded clothes. I just knew I had so much more in me than what I was doing back then. And I remember I'd have moments of frustration where, for me, the truth is, success was money. And we all start with these selfish desires of money, things that you don't have. And I remember having conversations with like family and friends saying, I need to be a millionaire, I want to be rich, I want to be successful. And they would look at me like I was crazy, and they would tell me like, everyone wants to be successful, everyone wants to be a millionaire. And I used to think, well, that's true, everyone does want to be a millionaire, so why isn't everyone successful? And then I would start to think, am I being delusional? And then I'll start to kind of put myself down and feel overwhelmed. And deep down I was still this like 23-year-old who was very ambitious. Like I just knew like I'm meant for so much more. I know I have so much potential. This can't be it. And then I started to actually think. And this is the problem with most people nowadays. No one really thinks. I used to think everything that everyone is doing everything that I want to do is so saturated, and I would always think that I had to do something that no one was doing. I had to innovate something, create something, because everything I was doing, someone else was doing it, and someone was already successful at it. And I used to feel so like intimidated by someone doing better than me that I would try to find something that I could be the best at. But then I realized that everything is saturated with mediocre people. Everything is saturated with average. And I had the perfect reference points, because I'll look at two of my best friends. Now, one of them has a very successful real estate agency, and another one has a very successful barbershop business. He has multiple businesses around here, and my friend also has multiple businesses around here too. And they grew a lot faster than most, let's just say, what's the word? Businesses over here. I forgot the word. My mind went blank. And I'll think, how could they end up becoming the best in the game when there's already businesses that have a lot more experience than you? And then everyone just sees the final result. Everyone just sees the outcome, and that's all I was seeing. But then I looked back at what actually allowed them to get there. 5 years of hard work, of no applause, of no results, of doing everything that no one was inspired by. My friend was cutting hair in his room for 5 years, for 5 euros a haircut. No applause, no one was supporting him, no one viewed him as inspiration, until he started to all of a sudden get lucky and everyone can see the results. Then everyone viewed them as a point of inspiration. And that's when I realized the game is just full of mediocrity, full of average people who say they want it. They say they want change, but the moment shit gets hard, they give up. The moment they feel a bit intimidated, they give up. They feel overwhelmed. And that's when I realized that you just have to be the person who can endure long enough. You just have to be the person who can pivot. You just have to be the person that can learn. And that's when I realized you just have to focus on one thing. Because I look back and I just think about how amazing humans are when they specialize in one thing. When a human specializes in swimming, when a human specializes in sports, when a human specializes in engineering, when a human specializes as a pilot, they only have one title because they only went all in one thing. And I used to think that, oh, I need to spend so much time overthinking shit, thinking about the perfect plan, the perfect outcome, because I only have one desired, one special calling that if I don't find it, my life is the end of the world. You don't understand how amazing humans are, that no matter what it is, you can be great at anything. But the difference is, every human has an unfair advantage. Now, I was all my life very skinny, very weak, but however, I've managed to accumulate a lot of physical strength. I am very strong for my size, for how I'm meant to be. I lift a lot of weight. I am very athletic. I was never this person. I just trained to be. Now, I'm never going to be as strong as people who are naturally very, very strong, because some people have unfair advantages. Now, that's the way what most people can become successful, where you find your natural talent, your unfair advantage, and you tap into that and you base your skills around that to eventually become better. Now, why am I saying this? Because it's 5:30 here, no one's here, everyone's stuck at this 9 to 5 where I was, and I used to just wait for change to happen. I used to feel like I wanted someone to come and save me. That was never going to happen until I realized that actually I need to develop a skill, or actually exploit the ones that I have naturally and become good at it, and find a way that I can actually venture on and make something useful of it. Look how busy my calendar is. Today I've been busy non-stop. Let me show you. This. Now, when I used to work in retail, I just would wait for the time I no longer had to work. I just don't want to work, because I'll see people that were living the life that I wanted, and I used to think, oh, they're just enjoying life, they're not working. But you need to understand that those are the ones that are working a lot harder. I don't work a 9 to 5. I work a 12 to 12. But guess what? The job that I do, I inspire, I impact, is something that I genuinely like. And as Naval Ravikant says, it says, do what feels like play to you, but work to others, and that's how you will win. That's why I can be so consistent. That's why I can show up here 5 times a week. That's why I can post my stories every single day. That's why I can show up. And to me, it never used to feel like work, because I genuinely enjoy doing it. And every single day I learn, I pivot, I improve. Now, content is one of the highest leverage skills that you can learn today. That's something that I can recommend. A personal brand is so important. Why? Because it shows your area of value, your area of knowledge is somewhere that you've managed, something that you've managed to overcome, and you have a specific key, because your story is what sells. Your story is the thing that people resonate with. The same with the person watching this. If you're still here today, you resonate to my story, how I used to work in retail. I'd always look at this big window that was in front of me. I used to see everyone living the life that I wanted, but realize one thing, that you are going to have to work more. It's about learning to adjust and adapt and learn to handle more stress, which is why your level of success will never surpass your level of stress management. There will be a point where now all this work you have to do, it becomes a norm. Like my physique, I never used to have this physique. Before, my physique was very average. Like everyone's a default character. But since you start going to the gym consistently, that becomes your new norm. That's an identity shift, because it becomes part of who you are. That's the most important thing, when it becomes part of who you are. Which is why I tell you, stop feeling so overwhelmed that you don't feel good enough, that you're not where you want to be. You need to stop focusing on how do you shift your identity. What do you need to focus on adding to your identity so you can become the person that you want to become. And that's why I tell you, you have to start changing the habits that you have, because the things that you do will keep on giving the results that you have. Which is why I tell you, you have to focus on changing, replacing, because you can't just remove bad habits. There'll be a void. You have to change it with something positive. That's why I tell you, wake up early, go to the gym, start improving, start self-improving, seeing physical results which you can translate to everything else. Oh, but what do I gain by waking up at 5 a.m? It's not about what you gain, it's about what you remove. Guess what I remove? I remove my self-doubt, I remove my insecurities, I remove that imposter syndrome, because that allows me to show up every single day. So if I can follow my daily process today, I can have that utmost confidence today. And everything's a journey. Everyone thinks that there's a place where you finally make it and I'm successful, I'm ripped, I've got a lot of money. No, it's a journey. You have to keep on maintaining it. You have to keep on paying your bills by taking the continuous action. Just remember, people want to see the view, but no one wants to do the climb, and the climb is continuous. The paying the rent is continuous. The showing up is continuous, which is why you have to make it part of your identity. Because if you view the result as success, when you finally get there, that hunger will leave you. Then you stop taking the actions. Then you will lose the very thing that gave you the outcome that you wanted. Does that make sense? And that's why I tell you, your purpose has to be so much greater than yourself. That's why whenever I show up and I do these videos, I speak to my younger self, because I really want my younger self to come out of where he was. Like, I sat down on my floor today, not even here, I was like, wait, I don't work a 9 to 5 anymore. I just realized that I'm impacting millions of people before. I'm exactly in the middle of what I once prayed for. And that's why your metric can't be an outcome. Your metric can't be a final destination, because once you get there, what then? That's why my metric now is always, how can I make the most impact? How can I help the most people? That's why I show up every single day. That's why I post every single day. That's why I wake up early every single day, because that's the most important thing that I can do, because there's a never-ending amount of people that I can help. There's a never amount of content that I can put out there, which is why that's the thing that keeps me going. You need to find that thing that hits a switch in you. What is that great and meaning for you? The same way you go to your job that you don't like every single day, because you are disciplined. You have to be disciplined in what you do, but you have to find that why. And you have to dig deep, because when shit gets hard, you anchor into that why. You don't want to go to your job every single day. There's days where you don't feel motivated. There's days that you feel tired. There might be days that you're even sick, but you still show up because why? You want to get paid. But you don't go there because you care about the money. You don't care because you're getting paid. You care because you don't want to live on the streets. You care because you have these basic necessities that you have to pay for. That is your why. That is your reason. But guess what? When you don't go to work and you don't get paid, and you don't have enough money by the end of the month to pay for yourself, or pay for that flight, or pay for those trainers that you want, guess what? Then the reason comes back, I can't miss work again. This is the same thing. Most of you guys give up, feel frustrated, feel that shame, feel that regret, and then you start again. Which is why I tell you guys, you can't live with shame, guilt, and regret. That's the cycle that most of you live in. So you try to escape reality because you're chasing happiness. Life isn't about chasing happiness. Life is about chasing peace. Because most of the time, peace isn't going to feel fun, but that's when you get true satisfaction. Because that's why many people go down this hedonistic paths of drugs, alcohol, partying, having meaningless sex. Because yeah, it feels fun in the moment, of course it does, and that's why everyone does it. Then after, I hate my life, because they come back to reality. Then they want to escape it again. Create a reality that you don't want to escape from. Create a reality that you want to indulge in even more. Stop falling into the trap of this quick instant satisfaction, into the instant gratification. That's what we're all taught to do. That's why we have Instagram. The moment you want to get entertained, Instagram. The moment you want to have your hungry fast food. The moment you want to have fun, meaningless sex. You can even pay for sex, master porn. Don't go down that path. You have to become someone that is strong, because everything is going to try to test you. Everything's going to try to break you. Not that life is bad. Life is unbiased. Life doesn't care if you're having a good day or bad day. Life is just life. Life is just a perspective. The same thing can happen to me. The same thing can happen to you. I just view everything as a lesson. I view as what can I learn from this? Most people think that life is going against them. No, you're just reaping the rewards of all of your bad choices. Start making better ones. Everything that you're living today is an outcome of your last 1,000 days. You want to change your future, change the next 1,000 days with what you do today. You want to win at life, win the day. Just focus on days. You don't know if you're going to have it tomorrow. You're so focused on tomorrow, on next week, next month, next year, but you haven't even gotten through today's problems. So to win at life, win the day. To win the day, win the morning. Very simple. I've just given you the biggest blueprint here. So I just wanted to speak to you guys from the bottom of my heart, as I had this moment. Like no one's come here to interrupt me, because everyone's just so stuck in a place they don't want to be in, and they pretend that they're okay there. Stop lying to yourself. It's going to be hard. Choose your hard. Going to a job for the rest of your life that you don't like is going to be hard. Working for your dreams is going to be hard. Posting videos is going to be hard. Facing criticism is going to be hard. But guess what? Your reason is strong enough that it bypasses everything. And that's my reason for you guys today. So if you made it this far, I just wanted to have this raw moment with you guys. We're just here chilling together. Put down in the comment section below, what was your biggest takeaway? If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment. And I honestly do this because I want you guys to take something from this and just apply what I'm telling you. Just become someone who is a massive action taker. Stop living your life conquered by fear, because if you live by fear, fear is the killer of action. And if you don't take action, that means you're not in the present. And if you're not in the present, you're not living, you're just existing. So start to exist, start to live. Start to actually live your life. And that's why my biggest fear is living governed by fear. And that's why everything that makes me afraid, I go straight into it. Fear is my compass. That's when I finally started living. Why do you think I can do videos like this? Where I'm from, South London, you have to act a certain way, low key, don't do this. Listen, life is too short. It's 100 years from now on, I'm not gonna cease to exist. When I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna wish that I'd done everything that I'm doing now, which is why I do it today. Just the last thing you want is to live a life in 50 years from now, just regretting everything you could have been because you were so afraid. Afraid of what? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? That we're going to die? And you don't even know when that can happen. That can be tomorrow. So live your life. Make sure you just are a good person. You don't live with regret. Listen to your conscience. Very simple. If you haven't already subscribed, love you guys. Let's go.